Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is December 23rd, 2017. My name is Lynn Marquidant, and I'm your host. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me. Today is just like every other Friday in that we have 60 minutes to see what we can accomplish. And I'm so glad you're here with me. This is a sewing bee. It's not a tutorial. I'm not teaching anything. I'm just here hoping that you're joining me and we can unwind from another week. So, how are you? Is your shopping done? Are all the Hanukkah candles lit? It's been a busy week, and I am looking forward to a week off. And I'm looking forward to tonight. We're going to be thinking about and actually making a test block for our basket quilt. Now, I have things to share with you. I have pictures. I have inspiration. And then I'm going to dive into the pilot. So where did this all begin? Well, Becca Clash, who hopefully you're out there, suggested the idea of a basket quilt a few months ago. And she has always wanted to make one. And I had thought that was a great idea. We kicked around the idea of all of us making basket designs and sending them in here and creating a quilt. One thing led to another. Her life got busy. My life got busy. And here we are, two episodes left in 2017, and then we want to kick off the basket making quilt the first week of January. So my latest thinking is that we're all individuals and we're all inspired by slightly different things. So I'm going to encourage us all to make our own version of a basket quilt, and then we'll see what we come up with. See what you think. But that said, let's look at some of the inspiration that Becca posted on the Simply Colorful Mystery Quilt group. And I have it all opened up here for easy access. Now there is an example of a basket quilt. And I noticed there are two versions of that one. I noticed that some of the applique, and these are mostly applique from what I can tell, are the same. Like there are eggs here and there's the egg basket there. So if anyone knows who did that pattern, let us know. I can't find it. I haven't searched that far, but a quick search, I couldn't come up with the pattern. So if it's out there, that would be great to know if anyone wanted to make that. This one is a more traditional Appliqued sampler. And I did notice that in my preliminary searches that Keepsake Quilting, Connected Threads, they have basket quilt kits and samples. But those are to get the juices flowing. In fact, I went to Pinterest, so I highly recommend Pinterest, right? And I typed in basket quilt, and they are everything from, you'll see, again, pieced and repetitive, which is a beautiful thing in design. I think that might be the one that's available from Keepsake. But this one is a Bountiful Baskets Quilt, sentimentalstitches.myshopify.com. Anyway, we could spend hours looking at these basket patterns, and I've spent a fair amount of time this afternoon looking at them. So I take a look at what's in Pinterest. In fact, I wanted to show one. Carol, if you're out there, I keep seeing that very clean pattern that you had identified. This one isn't it, but that's kind of neat. You could make a very modern basket quilt with that. Carol and I were looking at an older pattern book last weekend. And this one isn't it either, but that's neat. All in greens. That's a combination of pieced and then the applique handle. I want to find the one that Carol had identified. Oh, Well, it's sort of like it, 4 together. So you get the idea. There are all sorts of basket quilts that we can make. Oh, here's a whimsical one more. Come on, babies. Oh, now it's going to, I don't know if you can see that up close. I have to tell you, I'm having issues with my Apple products. Especially my phone. My phone has been very slow. In fact, it wasn't working. Oh, now that's stuck. My phone wasn't working middle of the day today, so I called Bob quickly from our home phone, and I told him not to buy any more Christmas presents for me if he still needed to, because I might need a phone for Christmas. But then it started to work again, so I don't need a phone. So I may have worked myself right out of Christmas presents. Okay. So then I went to EQ. So anyone who might have EQ out there, electric quilt, I went and looked under the pattern, the block choices, and under traditional patterns, they have several basket choices there. Under paper piecing, they have a couple. Under contemporary piecing, they have a couple. And then under the embellished design, they had one that spoke to me. And so I have picked one that I'm going to make a test of today. So again, we're not really planning the quilt. I thought last night when I was envisioning what we'd do on FiberCast, I thought maybe together we'd plan a quilt, and I don't have it in me. But I really would love to see everyone's interpretation. And I actually, so let me, without further ado, let me show you what I want to do. So here is the basket. It's called Fall Flowers, and it came from EQ7, right off their product. And it's going to be a 12-inch finished basket. And I've been inspired by Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish. So Sandra, if you're out there, and any of a few others I think follow her already, check her out. She's just, she'll even say, she says quirky a lot. She's quirky and fun. And she does embroidery. And I've been inspired by the fact that she's been coloring fabric and then setting it. So using the wax of crayons and then embroidering over it. So I watched that last night and I thought that would be really fun. And the fact that I have had this burning a hole in my psyche, vintage embroidery, which had some baskets, by the way. Like there's a basket drawing. There are all sorts of different. Let me show you a few others. What I'm going to do is I'm going to combine it. I'm going to do piecing, and then I'm going to try and add a little bit of embroidery and colored crayon. And we'll see. We'll start it tonight, and then by next Friday, although it is going to be a busy, fun week, but I think by next Friday, I'll have a good feel for whether it's going to work or not. Look at those cuties. I don't know if you can see the... Aw, a basket of kittens. Oh, here are two more baskets, more Victorian, I guess. So this is what I'm going to do tonight. Oh, and the other the other difference is I'm going to strip piece the basket. So I'm going to use my paper, my newsprint. KB gave this to me a few Christmases ago, so I have all sorts of it. And I have my pile of scraps. So I thought I'd make the scrappy basket. Then I'm going to draw, and the backing is going to be light so that the top here, I can do my embroidery. And then for the basket handle, this is pieced, and I don't want to do, this is meant to be appliqued, but I don't want to do that. I want to embroider it and color it. So I'm thinking the basket, I'm going to paper piece, and then after, somehow put it in, if it makes sense, after I do the embroidery, and I'll see how that goes. So that's my plan. Oh, And now we're probably many minutes in. If you are working on something, please send us pictures to lynn@simplycolorful.com. We love to see them. We share them with each other. You can always go to Facebook, go to Simply Colorful on Facebook, go to our mystery group if you want quilt along, mystery quilt along. And ding or send texts. Oh, Carol says, oh, I love the design of the fall flowers basket. Oh, I'm psyched. I do too. It's bigger than I thought too. But I'm glad you're out there and I'm glad you like it. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, okay. So let me put this away. And I'm going to put my stitch count down to 1.4, really tight. This is my thin newsprint that I'm going to sew my fabric onto. And it's not big enough, basically, but it's going to work just fine. I put it down on this. I drew the outline of the basket, and now I'm going to sew my strips on it, and it will go over the end, plenty over the end, and then I can figure it out. If that makes sense. Okay, so let's put this aside. Well, let's put this aside for a minute, and let's do our scraps. And I thought what I would do, since Christmas is only 3 days away, I'm going to do a basket in greens. And then the flowers almost look like poinsettias, I thought. So those are going to be red. And then the handle, I went into my brown scraps that Deb Linehan has given us that we're going to make we're going to make comfort quilts with. And I went in there and I found something that I think will be a good handle. So we'll see. But first, I have to do some ironing. And I did not do that before we got started, did I? Put my little iron over here. Oh, hello. Who's that? Who's out there? Hey, KB. Is Mom there with you? Hi, Mommy. Hi, Lynn. That's a really neat basket pattern. Can't wait to see the crayon embroidery. Mom is knitting, and I'm putting, now I have to open it up. Putting the binding on the Cafe Jelly Roll quilt. You know, I wondered when I put your quilts in the box, I thought maybe you could put the bindings on. That might be fun during vacation. I'm glad. She says, I'm putting the binding on the Cafe Jelly Roll quilt. The quilting on both quilts that arrived in the mail today is just perfect. Thank you. Love, Karen and Mom. Oh, I'm glad. Merry Christmas. It's feeling like Christmas. Oh, speaking of which, did everyone see my trees? I decorated them. And you may recognize some of the ornaments. They've all come from you. These are little snippets from Kelsey that came from a Bonnie Hunter quilt several years ago that she made one of the ornaments in. Over here are lighted scallop shells that my mother made. Here's our newest, which is a camper ornament from Chris. And the mouse. Oh, and when we went cowgirling, here's the rooster from when we went to the Wild West party at Missouri Star. So anyway, I had fun doing that. Oh, well. Okay, I'm going to use, oh, I love this one, this batik. Oh, did anyone see, anyone maybe in New England or who's a football fan, last Sunday we had a treat of a football game. or not so fun football game if you were out in Pittsburgh. Although Pittsburgh played a heck of a game, and they were winning the whole time, I think, and then we came back, and then there was last minute shenanigans, not shenanigans, but just the way the ball bounced was in the Patriots' favor, and we ended up winning the football game. It was very exciting. I like this one. It was very exciting. So everyone's all excited for this Sunday's game, although I could not tell you who they're playing. But it's here in Foxborough, and it sounds like as of this morning, my Bob is going to go with his brother and brother-in-law, and I'm so happy for them. I think it'll be wonderful. This is pretty too. I could not tell you how old that piece is. So basically what I'm doing for anyone who might be new to strip piecing, it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm not even sure this is what it's supposed to be called, but you're taking random pieces of strips and sewing them onto a piece of paper, and then we'll cut our piece out of it. And I should do at least 2 so that I don't have to cut off my string every time. And I changed my thread to be light tan. So let's say I have that. And let's do this big. Might be too. Might be too big for this. No. No. Can you hear how tight the stitches are? No, I'm only going to do 1. I don't need to do 2. It's okay. So we'll use a little extra thread. Then what I do is I set the stitches. Lots of strings here, threads. Oh, and since last week, thank you everyone for delivering quilts. I have several to keep me busy the next week. So that's great. And if anyone else out there has any quilts that you'd like to have machine quilted, please know I'm available. And if you get them to me by Monday, I can't get them back to you in time for Christmas, but I can certainly give you $20 off still on any quilts that you bring me by Monday, December 25th. I can't believe Christmas is almost here. Okay, so there's 2 pieces. Ooh, this is neat. See how this is already pieced from something else? But now, if I do that, I'm already getting into really scrappy, but that's okay. It's okay. I have been admiring my sister-in-law's quilts, Carol's quilts, for her discipline in sticking with a set number of colors. Quilting, like any fashion industry, has trends, and just seems as though we've been doing scrappy for a long time, and that simple number of fabrics is appealing to me again. But then again, so is vintage embroidery, so don't go by me. Speaking of vintage, I did my first freehand quilting of any real amount. Deb Linehan had me do some freehand, let me do some freehand on one of her quilts. And I did a terrible job, I must say. I tried it again on a old quilt that Jean had dropped off. And I'll post a picture. I think you're gonna like it. I combined some computerized motifs for the squares. It's snowballs. It's a combination of snowballs and 9 patches together, and each one is only 5 inches big. So I put motifs in each of those, and then I did some wavy freehand in between all the blocks. Okay, now should I put this? No. See how this is a little too, although I could make it work. I'm not going to. Well, no. Ooh, I like this one. This is an oldie but goodie. There's one here that's in Mom's quilt. Ooh, look what I found. Ooh, that's a thin one. That's cool. Do you know, so I hope some of you out there are like this. I have a fair number of quilting supplies and art supplies. And do you know, I do not think I have a box of crayons here. I can't believe that. In fact, as I just said that, I'm going to have to look in the attic. Ooh, it's very fun. Very thin. Thin and thick pieces here. So it's going to be a combination of strip piecing, templates, embroidery, and probably applique. After I finish this, I will see who's out there. Okay. Ooh, that's a bright one. No, I'm not going to go that bright. See, but I'm going to get in trouble if I start doing too much editing. Here's a good big one. I'm going to put over here. Who doesn't have scraps? And like we said before, the scrap bin never goes down. At least this will make big squares. So it's not like, in fact, I started a layout in EQ. And it's not like I need tons of these for a twin size, and I'm going to make it the right size, twin size. I need 15 of these. Okay. There we go. We're getting there. Cut this all off. Now, once we prove this, once we do this test and hopefully we like it, then we can do more of a assembly line piecing. So that you're not always cutting ends of fabric off too. I mean, thread. Okay. And then this one I'm not going to use because it's too light. I'm going to use this again. Ding. Who's out there? I really am going to check my email. Again, lynn@simplycolorful.com. Oh, Allie. Hey, Allie, you down under? She says, hi, Lynn. I'm watching FiberCast and love the quilt behind you. Thank you. The quilt behind me is one of those round robins. And it says, so there are houses in the middle. Then it says, all is bright. Then there are mittens, appliqued on, and then there are log cabin around that. Isn't that fun? All the same fabric, 4 different makers. We all did a piece. I'm so glad you're out there. I loved your drink holders. Well done, coasters. I love that. That tickled me. Oh, she says, I can't wait to see the crayon embroidery. Oh, hang on. That's my sister. Let's see, Messenger. I know I started reading something from Allie. Excellent. She says, I'm watching FiberCast, and she's interested in making a basket block. Oh, wonderful. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Or do you want to do one that we showed? Let me know how much or how little inspiration you want. Oh, so glad you're out there. Let's see who else is out there. And I'll get my big, I'm going to get my big pad out so we can see the pictures better that you send in. Ding! Is Maureen out there? Ding, ding, ding. Oh, Becca, hi, I'm so glad you wrote in. How are you? Becca says, hey, Lynn, I just Googled basket sampler quilt, and there are many, she says. I'm pretty sure I ordered the pattern for the quilt I posted 2 pictures of on Facebook. Oh, excellent. I will look for it and try to get you the designer and pattern names. I'm excited about what we will be doing. Me too, Becca. Thank you for the inspiration, and thanks for sort of going with the flow, and definitely let me know which one you're going to do and how to find the pattern for that one that you posted. I'm so glad you're out there. I hope everything is going okay. Carol over in Yorkshire. She says, hi, Lynn and FiberCasters. Hope you've had a good week and are ready for Christmas. Hopefully it will be full of family and good cheer. Yes. Yes, it will. I hope yours is too. She says, I'm still working on Ringo Lake. I've managed to get clue 4 done and have cut the pieces for clue 5. Good for you. She says, which is flying geese units, but have not gotten that much further on clue 3. Those diamond in a rectangle units have certainly slowed me down some. Do you ever get a unit or part of a unit that seems to take you a lot to get done? Definitely. And it usually is diamonds or triangles, something, or chevrons. Those are tough too. Yes, I do. But it sounds like you're doing exactly what I do. Is I discovered I do this in a lot of things. I'll give it a shot, but I don't give it a shot for too long. If I'm not figuring it out, I'll let it lay, and then I'll go do something else that I can do, I know how to do, and then I'll get satisfaction. Then I'll be re-energized and I'll go back and try the block that was really hard, or the puzzle, or the fixing, or something. So yeah, all the time. All the time I get slowed down, and then like I say, I go rejuvenate and do something else I know how to do, and then I come back. In fact, I've been working on a new accounting system at work, or I don't know, spend control system. And oh, these look great. Ah, you're making such progress. Yay. Look at those. There are going to be, I'm sure, thousands of pieces, right? Wonderful. So I've been using this new accounting system, and I learn one new thing, and then I'll go do something else, and I'll come back and I'll try and learn one more thing. Okay. Oh, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. She says, baskets. Hi, Lynn. I can't seem to get well from the, from the awful sickness, but I've wanted to do the crayon embroidery also. Great idea to combine them. Can't wait to see how yours turns out. She says, have a wonderful holiday, Sandra, in soaking wet Mississippi. Oh, I hope your feet are up. Drink fluids, take lots of rest, and find little moments of joy. I hope you find little moments of joy. Leah, hello. Leah says, hi, Lynn and FiberCasters. I'm watching live and working on coasters for a gift. Yay. And I'm very busy getting ready for the holiday. She says, I'm wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm downloading. Oh, look at your coasters. Oh, we call them Becky coasters. Becky will be happy. Oh, I love them. Beautiful. Oh, Merry Christmas, Leah. Jerry, the flannel ladybug. She said, hi. I'm not sure we've met. I'm so glad you're here. In fact, I want to welcome all the new folks. So good to have new people watching. She says, hello, Lynn. I'm sitting here tonight joining you live for Simply Colorful. Uh-oh. She says, tonight's task, ripping out quilting. Tip of the day is always clean your machine. LOL. Good tip. Hope you and yours have a Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Aw, Jerry, again, that's Jerry, the flannel ladybug. Aw. Okay, we'll read more after I make some progress on my basket. See, now that we have this bluish, am I going to regret this? Probably, but I'm going to do it anyway. See, this is what I mean. I always throw in these little errant things thinking it's going to be so different and unique. And hopefully it won't stick out like a sore thumb. Okay, another couple, or maybe one big one on each end, and then we are ready to make our block. And then we're going to trace what we're going to embroider on. And like I say, I don't have any crayons yet, but I have red embroidery floss to give us a feel for what it'll look like. Those coasters were beautiful. And they do make such a nice gift. Okay. There's one side. See how that sticks out, that blue? It's okay. It's okay. We're going to go with it. And let's see. I wish I had more of that. Oh, but maybe that's plenty. Actually, that is plenty. I just go up here. Okay, so again, here's our guide, and I drew the basket on the back of this, and now I'm going to make the white templates for this, and then the whole upper half. Let's see, let me just move this over here. Let's see if this will work. Yes, it will. 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 See, the templates were so big, I had to print them on multiple pieces of paper. But all I need are the bottom two. I need two of those. Here's the base, and I'll show you. You know, I've gotten in the habit of doing my own thing. I'm not sure I could follow a pattern very well anymore. I tend to jump all over the place, for good or bad. Okay, so there's one of my paper pieces that we'll use if we get to it tonight. Okay. So, I have this, but I don't have a rotary cutter, so I'm going to use old-fashioned scissors, which will be just fine. I'm going to cut out Okay. And then this. Oh, I don't want to. Do I want them to match? I think I do. So I'm lining this up so that hopefully the strings go all the way down to this base in the same order. Okay, so there's that. Here's this. Have to remember to put our 1/4 of an inch. So this is how my design process goes. And I have to say, this is a fun part of quilting, for me anyway. Okay, I have just enough on each end. All right. So in a perfect world, I'd had my rotary cutter, but I don't have it here. I have 3 over there. I hope that made you laugh. Okay. See, so I'm just cutting it out. Oh, I also want to thank the folks on Twitter who have been retweeting our FiberCast announcement. I really appreciate it. Thank you for spreading the word. Okay. That is the top of our, or that's the main part of our basket. Now I'm going to make the pedestal. It's going to go right here. Hang on, I have to make sure I'm following the right lines. Okay, there's that. And I think that is good. I think we want it to look, that's going to be hard to keep maintain, but we'll try it. Okay, now what we want to do is get our background fabric and cut out 2 of them that will go there. And then we'll put a big piece up here. I found this in my stash. It's off-white. And I ironed this much. In fact, I'm just going to snip and rip. Deb taught me this, not to be afraid of it. Still, I don't do that very often. Okay, so that's going to be the top. Now let us cut a few of these templates out. Hey, you know what just occurred to me? It's going to be a Y. Is there a Y seam? It is. What am I doing? I guess what I could do is, if I like the look of this when we're the next one, I could just put a little triangle on the side here. I could cut this like a triangle, and then I could put 2 little triangles on each side. I bet that's what I'll do. But for now, a Y seam and a lot of starch, we can do it. Oh, it must be hot down under. Allie and Wendy. Hi, Wendy. And everyone else out there, I'm so glad. I hope people are having some time off this holiday season. Okay. Now, where's my pencil? Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm going to put a pin in this because I have 2 pieces here. I'm going to cut out at the same time. And we'll go So these pieces, we just need to sew onto this. Ha! I'll put that over there. There's that. And then that. And then I guess we'll fit that in. We could do that. Okay. Ouch. Just stuck my finger with a pin. Here. Here. And then. Oh, my friend Sarah, who I've told you about, who's caravanning across the country here in North America. Wild Thing Escapes, if you're not following her yet. It was exciting because she's made it to Arizona and her husband joined her either yesterday or today. I'm very happy for her. And I hope they have a very nice time. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave at the end here. I'm going to start in 1/4 of an inch because it is a Y seam. Take out my pins. The current design I have in EQ has this block in sashing. So I noticed that the basket itself goes way out right to the end. Do you see that? On either side, actually top and bottom. So then there will be sashing. Same thing, I'm stopping at least 1/4 of an inch, probably more like 3/8 of an inch from the edge there. Because now what I'm going to have to do is sew this in one side, then one side, and then one side. And you'll see, in fact, I shouldn't even iron it. And this is where it's a good idea to use your pin in the corner here, in the corner there. So I have this as the corner, and then I'm just going to take a little pin. And now again, only go to 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to put my needle down. Let's see if we can do this. Lift up my presser foot. I just lifted it up to ease it over a little bit because I want to give a little flexibility. Okay. I know this is gripping, but it'll be worth it. Nope. Okay. I'm going to take this off and line up the other corner. So there's one corner, sort of okay. Okay, I have to go a little bit further here. Okay. Take it out again. It's got to be a better way. And there is. It's just, so this is why we test the pattern, right? I wanted to have this whole thing paper pieced. You know, like the 2-color delight that we did a few years ago. We had big blocks that were paper pieced, but EQ didn't have it. I would hit paper piecing for this or foundation block and it wouldn't come up. But no problem, we can. All right. So, didn't match up quite as well as I would have liked, but that's okay for our test. I'm giving it a good press. Whoops, and again, that came off. Gotta find a better solution on this one. It'll be a New Year's resolution. And I think it was Maureen Ding in Pennsylvania who reminded me that I haven't looked at my UFOs for this year. I'm not sure I made great progress, but it's time to do my new UFO list. Okay. So what I was thinking was, I have all these things I keep thinking, oh, I'm going to do that next year. I'm going to get the overhead camera next year. I'm going to do Facebook Live next year. I'm going to get a new ironing board next year. And then I thought, oh, I better look at the things I said I was going to do this year. Okay, there's the bottom. Not great, but not bad. And do I care which way now? If I could walk around, of course, in the studio when I'm not broadcasting, I would go cut this piece correctly. But for now, since we're all here, I'm just going to sew it on and make sure I leave a lot of extra room, and I'll trim it up afterwards because I want to get to tracing the pattern. Okay, this can go over here. Go. That's what we like, is straight seams. None of this Y seam stuff. That really was not well done. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. You will. Oh! Okay, here we go. So this week, off camera, I'm going to color the flowers that we're going to draw on right now, and then heat set it. Apparently I put paper on either side between this fabric and the crayon, and then it will give it a nice, it'll set the wax into the fabric. There we go. That'll be okay. Okay, so there is that. Now we need our original pattern, and hopefully I can see this. I don't, oh. Maybe this will act like a light box a little bit. Yes, it will. Oh, and you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to iron it the other way so I don't see the crease right down there, right in here. So I don't see the seam is what I'm saying when I go to embroider. Okay. This is where some tape would be good, wouldn't it? Oh, but what I'll do is I'm going to pin it. So I'll just pin that. Put that pretty well lined up. And here's this. Okay, now get my pencil. This is fun. Okay, so I can see it very well. I bet you can't see it very well though, can you? Getting there. hopefully we'll have time to make the basket handle. In fact, I suppose I could do, well, I'm almost done. Remember, send me an email if you're out there and you're working on something. Send it to lynn@simplycolorful.com. I can remember my mother had liquid embroidery. Does anyone remember that? It came in tubes. And I remember she had a tin of different tube colors. That looked pretty fun to me, I have to say. I think by the time I ever tried to get into it, I think they were dried up, I think. Boy, drawing this is reminding me this is a lot to embroider. But Becca, if Becca does that applique basket quilt, that is going to be a stunning piece of work with a ton of applique. Okay, so you see, oh, I pinned it, duh. You see that? Maybe, kind of. Okay, well, that is exciting. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to color it red. And then I'm going to use ooh, there's some variegated. That might be kind of pretty. So we'll figure out what colors to use. Oh, here's another red, I think. I don't want to use pearl cotton on this. I want to use, no, that's too orangey. Okay, so who's out there? Send me a picture of what you're working on. And oh my goodness, where did the time go? I'm sorry, everyone. Well, let me conclude here. Wow, I was having fun with our new project. I had no idea it was past 9 o'clock. So for anyone out there, if you stuck with me, thank you. I was just getting into my thing. So give some thought to a basket quilt. Here's the start of mine. I'll report back next week and let you know how far I get. These will be paper pieced and be behind, and that will be the basket handle. But really, more importantly, I want to wish everyone Merry Christmas, and I will talk to you before the new year. Have fun, everyone. And thanks for joining me. Bye.